And I swear I'm like a magnet for red lights. So you had to get here from Community North and just every red light. Huh?
Caught them all.
Tell him if your stomach wasn't upset from all that spaghetti. You'd probably be all right. He was way here on time.
No kidding.
That's good.
Right there. Okay.
That's a wild unit.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah, I just want to check the sheet off.
Let's call this meeting to order of the Decatur Township Board. To start, we'll have Pastor Tim Lindsay lead us in our vacation. You stand with me.
Lord, we love you. Lord, I thank you for those who have served so hard this year, Lord, and those that we represent. And thank you, Lord, for safety, and thank you for even taking us through difficult seasons of valleys as they grieved and lost. But Lord, thank you for the year. Thank you for the work that they do. I pray that you just help their minds and their hands, Lord, just to reward them and encourage them and strengthen them. I pray what we do tonight will honor and please you. It's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Do you ever want to say play ball?
Yeah.
Love you.
You have another chair?
Okay, you go do that. Had some visitors. Thanks, guys.
Questions from the public? From the little ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, they signed in.
Yeah.
Let's see what they have to say.
Probably more sense to make than we do.
Yeah, that's right. All right, buddy. Good job. Chief said all right.
What's that?
But our ladder truck just broke down again.
Oh no!
Oh, thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, more.
Public comment. There it is.
75 just went there. That's a new one.
Okay.
That is a new one.
Yeah. All right,
Who are
buddy.
you?
Thanks for checking in. New
I
fire,
like him.
new
I
fire
give him some
department,
money.
new fire department safety
Ah.
officer. Yeah. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
I'm
That's
glad
right.
too. I'm glad too. Thanks, buddy.
Andrew Bond, everyone.
All people say it's pro. What is he, 4?
3.5. Yep. There you go.
We'll have to tell that to FSI next time. Thanks.
Thanks for playing along, everybody. Appreciate that.
I just really hope he's wrong.
Yeah.
Did you know about this?
It's hard telling what he heard in there. It's hard telling what he heard over there.
Well, we are going to talk about the budget.
Yeah, that's right.
Sad thing is, that's within line.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, meeting agenda was distributed before the meeting. Are there any additions? Any comments? Okay, meeting agenda is adopted as presented. The meeting minutes were distributed via email. Were there any additions or corrections to note? Okay, without objection, the meeting minutes are accepted. All right, Decatur Township taxpayer comments.
There was no one signed in when I peeked out the door.
Okay.
So
All right. New business, review, consider, and approve 2026 agreement between the Decatur Township Professional Firefighters, Local 416, and the township.
I think a draft or better was sent to you folks over the last few days for you chance to review. Certainly, if you have any questions, I would probably yield or let open the floor for Mr. Chair to the chief and to the union leadership for working out most of the nuts and bolts details. Anyway, let them have their say, but certainly if you have questions, what I can address, I'm sure one or both of them can.
Great. Yeah, I'll just say I read through it and I didn't see anything that jumped out at me. You guys have anything? What has changed since last year? Anything?
Really, the only thing that changed, Mr. Chairman, is the salaries that you approved.
Right.
That's really the only thing. There's
Okay.
some minor language in there as it relates to titles of positions have changed with our local 416 representation, such as Vice President Ferris is a vice president, not the president. So That's a change that's ancillary, but it's a change we had to make for the legal document. Other than that, sir, other than salaries and things of that nature, nothing's really changed unless you have something to add to that. Everything within that document has been vetted by 4 different people on different levels, so.
Great. So everybody is in agreement? Great.
Yes, sir.
Any comments?
No, I wanted to see how, and I can't remember what it's called. How you guys take off and stuff.
Kelly Day?
Yeah, Kelly Day, how are those doing?
Phenomenal. The way that the Kelly Day system works, we thanks to the board for approving that for full implementation in 2025, it was this year. We're thankful for that on the sense that for longevity of the member, and I don't mean pay longevity, I mean mental awareness of the member as well as health and safety, it's working out really well to have that extra day. A lot of folks might think that I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, why can't they? Well, the problem is they're also up
Yeah,
all hours of the night. So there's times where they come in and, they go to their part-time job or home and spend time with their families and they can't give 100% because they're up. So that extra day, that Kelly Day, allows them to have a good sense of mental awareness. Now that's coming from me who had a Kelly Day when you were testing it, which was very grateful. Private Ferris here has a Kelly Day still. How do you feel about Kelly Days?
It's been great for me, for the family, morale around the department. I mean, everybody still seems to be pretty excited about it. Going such a long time in the neighboring departments, you see guys having them, and we get them. And we're still pretty excited about them. We're definitely thankful that guys approved that for us.
Great.
I've been meaning to ask. I keep forgetting to ask you.
Yeah, they're working great.
Since we were doing this, I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, we're
Another thing to add, and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief Johnson was talking the other day with us. And I hate to say for jinxing, but our workman's comp claims are the lowest this year over the last 3.
3 years.
We think that is contributable to the Kelly Day. Of course, now that I've said that, the next 2 weeks will break.
Yeah.
And that too is
So I didn't turn the camera off. I didn't say anything.
that too is huge kudos to the trustee
But yeah,
Brian and Chief Arms when he was in office to get that done. So I want to commend those 3 for making that happen. So a lot of headway there.
Great. I was reading through it earlier, and I know this has been our policy for a while, but I just had a question on section 4A. The goal of the township and the department shall be to staff each engine and ladder with 4 firefighters per NFPA recommendations, right? At the moment we do 3 because of what we have, the staffing we have, and everybody's fine with that. That's the verbiage here, right? I was just doing a little research. What's the story with like chase vehicles or tiered dispatch or quick response vehicles? I mean, could that be alleviated through, vetting a 911 call? And
Well, yes, sir. In theory, we do not have that in the sense that we don't have any chase vehicles other than an EDO. And
okay,
9 times out of 10, the EDO is either assigned with an ambulance or going to assist in the sense of an ALS call where they need an additional medic. Other departments do have chase vehicles, like a squad per se.
right, where 2 guys can go to something that doesn't require a full
Exactly,
engine.
full box or full engine or ladder. So for us here with our manpower, the way we are and the way our structure, our tiered system is here, we're already vetted that way when dispatch sends us a run. We're either on the engine, the ambulance, the ladder. So with us, the only component to any kind of opposition would be financing as it relates to a squad or something of that nature would be more impactful based on cost of the vehicle. However, for us, it wouldn't because of our staffing, if that makes sense. So NFPA says we have to have a minimum, or we should have a minimum of 4 people per apparatus. Again, with staffing, Kelly Days, things of that nature, we're doing better with the 4 per apparatus. Does it happen every day? Absolutely not. But I would say at least 75%.
Oh, it is.
Goal.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay. I got you.
So the 3 number you threw out, sir, is spot on some occasions. But again, especially as we hire more people, we're able to get to that 4 per apparatus all the time. But
Okay.
again, I say all the time, we obviously can't account for sick time, injury on the job, things of that nature.
Right.
What we do plan for is time off, the Kelly days, so on and so forth. So as far as injury, illness, things like that, we obviously can't predict, but all the administrative stuff we can. So for us, a chase vehicle right now is not something that we could implement, but we're doing our best now to reduce wear and tear on our vehicles with an updated response strategy.
What keeps us from implementing it? Just the capital costs of the equipment
Well,
to start, or
Right, I'd say the
Or
startup
you're saying it doesn't make
cost, as well as
sense?
the vehicle, as well as maintenance,
yeah,
as well as staffing. Because remember, anytime we hire somebody, we also have to think about the future. So if I'm hiring one person, somewhere in the next 4 or 5 years, I'm gonna have to hire another one, and then another one through attrition. So we're so old in this department, people are starting to retire because they're in that class from either 1999 to 2005, where there was multiple 30-some people hired. They're getting ready to retire. So with that, we're able to put people on the trucks because we're able to backfill those spots, if that makes sense. So, sir, in theory, to answer your question, a squad would be nice in the future if we can get to the point where we can put 4 on an engine, 4 on a ladder, 2 on an ambulance, things like that. But having a squad run with 2 people and an engine with 3, when we're supposed to have 4 based on NFPA standards, is kind of a wash.
okay.
But, well,
Not completely out of the question.
I was just going to say, I just was thinking from a standpoint, I mean, like a squad, if it could be vetted, like you said, where a smaller run or a run that would allow or would apply to that situation, to have a squad that's 16,000 pound, 20,000 pound squad vehicle versus an 85,000 pound, truck or engine.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of wear and tear right there just to go get grandma.
Because that's what I was wondering. If you have the quick response vehicle, can you just take 2 firefighters, put them in? You've got guys on shift.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to send an engine because it was somebody that fell down.
Well,
Does
we do that for crew integrity. We also do
Yeah.
that for, in the sense, if we clear a run, we're coming back from a run, get banged out on an additional run, that's when we take them. That's why sometimes you'll see people, we stop the wearing the bunker gear in grocery stores and businesses and things like that because it's unhealthy and unsafe. That's why you won't really see people do that, but you will see them if they're out and about doing things such as repair or anything like that, because if they catch a run, they can jump in the rig and go. So that's where that comes from. Now, I will tell you on a personal level, as a fire chief level, I would love to have a squad. I would love to run 2 in that apparatus and then redo our run strings. The problem with that, though, comes from the financial aspect of hiring at least 6 people, 2 per shift for the squad, plus the vehicle, plus the maintenance cost on top of that vehicle, which would be less than an engine.
You can't use
Obviously.
the firefighters that are on staff.
No, because we've actually moved to the current NFPA standard, which we were a long 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have, right? So we're at the point where we can staff what we can with the minimum number of firefighters. I don't want to pull off those fire trucks to put on a squad and leave an engine with 1 person. Does that make sense? We're a little different than other fire departments that you might read about. A lot of fire departments do things a little different. Johnny and Roy in emergency, for instance, LA County Fire Department had, and it was based on true aspects, they had their own staffing levels where they can do that. They had 4 on the engine, 2 on the squad. You always seen that. And that's a model that we would like to have here. But I don't want to pull people off apparatus to support 2 on the engine, 2 on the squad, and then 2 people on the squad have to go to the hospital. Then that leaves an engine with 2 people here. I don't have anybody backfill that engine with the other 1 or 2 to have a full response.
Oh, I got you.
And it's marked out of service.
Right, it's marked out of service.
Oh,
It's out of
So,
service.
so that makes our
Yeah.
statistics for runtime and mitigation lower.
I guess I was thinking you could just have the firefighters on shift, jump in one vehicle or another, but you're saying if they're out in
We
this,
have to staff the
Yeah,
vehicles
okay.
for what we have.
I got you. And the only reason I bring it up is because I mentioned here that, we have 3 and it's recommended there's 4. So
Right. Now, I will tell you, sir, on that contract, that's the verbiage every year because
Yeah, I've
That's
seen
what
it
we wanna get
before.
to,
Yeah,
right?
right.
When we have our union meetings, Vice President Ferris does a very good job of outlining where we're at and why we can or can't do with what's in the contract. So, I would be in support of a squad in the future. I would be in support of hiring. I'm always in support of hiring. But right now, it's taking people off apparatus to leave them short for another apparatus is not something that we can do right now. With all due respect.
No, I got you.
So you're saying I can buy a squad?
No. Open the can of worms here.
You're saying I can buy an AMG and put 2 firemen in it?
Let's bring Andrew back in.
Yeah.
Give his opinion.
Bring my expert witness back in.
Yeah.
If he's telling me a truck's broke, I got to backfill this.
The voice of reason.
Yeah.
If it were up to him, you'd have all kinds. You'd have a helicopter out here if it were up to him.
We did a helicopter.
Can we?
Yeah.
Talk to Andrew.
I think it'd be kind of cool. So yeah.
Is that emotional?
Price that one out for me. Price that one out for me.
Well, I didn't have any other questions. You guys have anything?
Sir, did that answer your question?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I
Sure
didn't
did.
want to be rude. I just wanted the aspect of I can't pull from one and put on another.
Right.
I don't have the spots to backfill.
That makes
To
sense.
leave it in service.
Makes total sense. Okay. No other.
What else for me?
There's nothing else to discuss. I'll take a motion to approve.
I motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The agreement between the Decatur Township professional firefighters and the township is approved.
You all
Thank
don't
you
mind,
very
I'll just send
Thank you.
around the signature page, please.
Okay.
And then-
Sir.
All right. Next item of business, 2025-13, allowing the advanced purchase of employee benefits.
If I may.
Yes, please.
For probably you and Greg and Cindy might recall, a year ago, I presented a similar resolution where, because our virtual health provider, benefits provider offered us a significant amount of decrease in cost if we could ideally pay annually, but the state law, from everything I've seen, won't allow that. So semi-annually, it's still a little bit of a discount. We set that up that time. It was based in, and as I reread it, regrettably, I think, it really was only good for this year. So I have presented to you an update version that would allow us to take advantage of that again next year, but also be more flexible in years going forward. This is something they'd like to square away in November. They have extended for us because we've been a customer of them for quite a while to mid-December. And so that's the long story short. The approval of this will let us 426 take advantage of that discount, and then as well going forward, if it's offered, be able to take advantage of it in the future as well.
Yeah, makes sense, right? Pay your insurance premiums in bulk, you get a discount.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it exactly.
Yeah.
It was, I think last year for this year actually was about $700. It won't be quite that well. We'll face a couple of dollar increase, but that's the first increase we've had with them for the first several years. But still yet, particularly as the road ahead with the funding, threats, if you will. Yeah. I think it's very appropriate to try to take advantage of anything that we can.
Great. Any comments or discussion? Okay, take a motion to approve 2025-13. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution is approved. Pass that around for signature. Okay, next item of business, 2025-14, year 2025 end reappropriations.
So for a couple of you that are new, at the end of the year, we can, at any time, we can reappropriate dollars within the budget. Basically, it's a chess game of moving money from point A to point B, if you will. And that's what we're doing here. We typically do it at the end of the year. We look at those areas where we're looking short. As you know, as you look at this, one of the areas will be our township assistance. We're up about 75 requests to this point this year from total last year alone. So we're, and as you recall, in 24, we budgeted some funds to maybe work out a deal with the Goodwin Center. They didn't come back. And so in 25, we went back to kind of a more traditional amount. So anyway, most everything's coming from the general fund. The general fund, if you recall, can pay for pretty much anything. There are a couple things in item number 4 that are specifically moving around from within the fire department fund. But you know, if you have any more questions or specifics or anything, let me try to better explain. But I tried to list out, you know, we've got the major categories and then funds and then the subdivisions within each fund.
My only question was the kind of the subheading at the top says regarding the correction of a misrecorded investment of township public funds. I think that's from a previous resolution that we did, I think a couple of meetings ago, maybe. And that's fine. I copy and paste that, but I don't know if that should be in there.
Was a little confusing.
Unless that's what it has to be called.
At the very top.
At the very, very top.
No, you're right. I did copy and paste.
Nope, that's fine. I do it all the time, Jason.
So,
So
so I can go print that again, or if you want to just.
I'm okay with just marking that out.
Please do.
So we're gonna mark out on what the presented copy is. We're marking out regarding the correction of a misrecorded investment of township public funds. I think that's the only place that is listed. The resolution number is okay, and then everything else is okay. Just that subheading, for lack of a better term.
Which section is that?
It's on resolution 25-14 at the very top. That third line, literally at the very top in the title. So that part that says regarding the correction of a misrecorded investment of township public funds. Township public funds, yeah. I didn't know at first when I looked at that the other day, and I thought, well, maybe we have to call it that. And then I was like, actually, I don't know. And I meant to ask you earlier, and I forgot about that. So
it's a 6-year-old man's eyesight.
The recommended correction, so I can note this.
You note it, but what I've done on the sign for the purposes of signing, I've just crossed it out, and what I think ought to do, I'll initial and you initial as the secretary.
All right, so we'll scratch that out.
Yep, that will work.
What is the $1 million going from? Was it personal services to supplies?
Yes. So if you read that, and I noted at the top, category 1 is our personal services.
Okay.
And we're moving that to category 3, which is our particularly it's called other services and charges.
Oh, other services, right.
Yeah, so that's a broad category that can cover a lot of things in that. Utilities, legal expenses, fuel,
stations, things for stations,
supplies. Repairs, some minor repairs, etc.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right, if there's no further discussion, I'll take a motion to approve 2025-14 year-end reappropriations.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, resolution 2025-14 is approved.
Similar, I'll just send the same page around if that's all right. That ended up being a 2-pager.
Stick that with anything.
Hey, now.
You just put that with anything.
No, I got it noted.
I'm just kidding. Oh, is it on the bottom?
No, it is.
Just sign here. Sorry.
What do you think I am?
Spaghetti for a lot.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to pass all your checks around later and have you all sign them, and I was putting them in my pocket here.
Put those checks together and he goes for a ladder truck for it.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right.
Helicopter.
Take those back. Yeah, I'll give mine to a helicopter. Okay. Next item of business, 2025-15, appropriation of unrestricted donated funds.
Yes. So as you recall, earlier this year, the board established donation funds. There are two types. There are restricted, which is basically the donors very specifically or generally specifically designates what they want the dollars to go to do. In that regard, for example, in relating to what we got tonight, we've reached out to community businesses and some of our vendors, frankly, to offset the cost of the reimplementation of our awards banquet next year that hasn't happened since 2019 with the coronavirus that came up. We've received donations that way with that specific designation.
Great.
A company, Martin Marietta, interest in Wayne, but has operations within Decatur, provide us a donation at about the same time, but they didn't necessarily in the documentation they gave to us designate.
Oh, did you say what it was for?
Designate that
Yeah.
that's what it was for. So
Gotcha.
we view that then, and I think we have to view that then as an unrestricted, which then means you, the folks on the board, need to appropriate that, designate the funding. So we're asking that you appropriate that into the donation collection we have for the awards banquet.
When will that be? The awards banquet.
Once you sent that out, right?
Oh, really?
At the 6
Oh,
o'clock.
okay.
Where at?
The invites are getting sent out this
Okay,
week.
my bad.
So Chief Key is working on getting those pushed out, so you guys will be getting yours soon. It's at the Marat Theater, or the Marat Shriners Club downtown.
That's nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's all inclusive. So it's a 4-hour event, 6 to 10. We're gonna break it down into dinner and the banquet. So it's a Class A event. It's just something that we wanted to bring together and provide to everyone, whether it's the merit board, the township board, our employees, our staff, and their families to come in and celebrate the fire department of the township. So that's one of the other things too that we're working close to our constituents is our image is so important to us as it relates to the uniformity of the fire department. It's also important to the community that we represent them. So bringing the community involvement in too, such as we do Safe Halloween and some other events, it gives them an idea of where those donations are going. So that's why we want to make sure we recognize them as well. So
Great.
it'll be a good time. I'm sure the beef tastes amazing. I'm not sure, but we'll be sending that information out here soon.
You're vegetarian, right?
Oh, you know it. Yeah.
I have a lot of spaghetti.
I love vegetarian steak.
Yeah, my favorite.
Well, it sounds pretty straightforward to me. Any questions or comments?
No, we just need to hit Martin Marietta for more money.
Yeah, no, 500. Yeah.
They are the
Right.
most expensive ones to buy from.
Yeah, all right.
They
Yeah.
make the most money. I'm going to guarantee you that.
Has anybody else been to board, this,
Awards.
awards
No.
banquet.
No.
It is awesome.
2019 probably was the last
Yeah.
one because 2020
Yeah.
canceled everything in life, right?
Yeah,
I think mom used to go to it.
yeah.
We're also
It-
bringing the volunteer corporation will be there, the retired merit employees will be there,
Wow.
and you all, and it'll be a good time. I mean, I think I'm just glad to get everybody under one roof again, to have a good time and leave work at work, and which is hard for me because I can't ever leave work at work, but have people celebrate them. That's important.
It's very nice.
What was the dates
Very.
again?
January 10th from 6 to 10
Great.
at the Marat.
Cool. Well, take a motion to approve 2025-15.
Motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution passes, or appropriation. Okay. Next item, notification of the 2025 to 2026 encumbrances.
Yes.
So again, for perhaps for the couple of new folks, law allows the township or government entities to encumber money from one year to the next to cover expenses that are agreed upon with vendors in that prior year so that we can pay them the next year. The two that I'm asking to, notifying to encumber, the State Board of Accounts, their directive is to notify the board and have it noted in the board meeting minutes. One for the $264 out of the general fund, category 1, as we've done in the past, to cover health savings account contributions. The township, unlike a lot of other employers, makes those to most employees once a year. We do it right at the beginning of the year. They get all that HSA money right at the beginning. So we have those that we make. And really where this started in the past is we actually wrote the check, back when we wrote the check for it, on the 30th or the 31st. I delivered it to the bank. They held it. Now it's an electronic funds transfer, but when I came into office, it literally was a check that we paper wrote and handed to the banker that day. The other one is, again, back relating to the court security. Judge and I have met. He's met repeatedly with the security folks, selected the vendor. We've got they've ordered the materials to begin the work shortly. So that's the $419,100 is what was in that additional appropriation for those three particular items.
Will that be the cost then of that court?
Well, for that work.
Well, what is this going to cover?
This will cover what was presented to you folks before: the windows, that half wall.
So locking doors or something with that, maybe.
Well, let me try to answer that question
sorry.
first. I can't. There were three different things, if you recall. There was the outside windows, there was the half wall, and I can't remember the exact third thing. I will tell you, in looking at that, and as we talked back in the day, right on our difference, maybe not to brag or whatever, I thought that work didn't really accomplish a good security thing. It didn't create what I call a safe room, whatever it is, a safe room. So we'll have to come up with some additional money probably at some point in the future to actually get that completed.
Did he ever bring us quotes? I've never seen a quote for this yet.
There were quotes, yeah. There was quotes presented when we did the thing, and then we got the two other quotes as well.
Okay.
So we're going with the original company then?
Yeah. They, frankly, the other one, they're neck and neck, and the other one we think is more comprehensive with some of the other things they can do, which I can get to here in a moment. And frankly, a third company I think I shared that bid with you, if you want to call it that. They gave us a price, said you sign with us, pay us half,
Right.
we'll remeasure and then charge you what we want.
Vaguely remember
Yeah.
that it was just, it was not really a real
I
quote.
just
Right.
couldn't-
I do remember that.
Yeah, I just couldn't with good conscience.
Right.
I remember the details.
Similar to the asphalt guy that said he'd come out on Friday night in the dark in March and patch, but the whole, I kind of grouped it in the same thing. So, and the judge and I just talked the other day. We have the scheduled meeting. By law, we have to meet the first Tuesday after the first Monday, and which it works out to be, I think, January 6th, unless I messed up on the date. I told him to make sure he tries to clear his schedule. We'll probably have an exec after that and present the actual report from the state Supreme Court, which according to the judge means once we have that report, once we start making building alterations, we have to implement some things with that. So as it's been, I don't want to get into security things on a public thing. That is something that we can do in a closed door,
Right.
and for common sense security. But yeah, we're going to have to look at doing more security measures, including some automatic locking doors and fob doors and those types of things.
So I was looking through this. So do we have a PO to them, or are we under contract with this vendor currently?
Well, we have their original quote that we've accepted. Yes.
Okay. Not being a stickler, but I'm just reading this, and it says, unless we have a purchase order to them and a written contract has been completed, the money should expire at the end of the fiscal year. Is that correct?
It should.
I mean, do we meet those qualifications? Are we under contract with them? Do we
I
have
thought-
do we have
well,
a
like I
PO
said-
to them yet, or?
Well, the township really doesn't usually PO. We'll usually a contract or and again, we've written the acceptance of the offer.
We have written an acceptance? Okay. I was just trying to understand what this meant, and then I found this Indiana code that said, any sum in control of the executive that remains unexpended and is subject to no liability shall be credited in favor of the fund for which it was appropriated. And then it needs to be reappropriated unless we have a purchase order or a written contract. So we have essentially a written contract.
Well,
At
I'm
this
waiting.
point, or-
I'm waiting on him to find. Well, I've accepted the order, the original order,
Yeah.
with the understanding he's supposed to get us by the end of the year, and then accept pending funding the other aspects to it.
Okay.
Because again, the back wall, as I call it, is going to cost more than the original bid.
And if there's more coming, should we spend this now? I know we've already appropriated it, but I mean, have you thought just to throw into one big scope? Would that be more sensible? You know, if there's more work to be done, should we just spend what we appropriated now, or should we wait and see what the grand total will be?
I thought about that. I mean, at the end of the day, I think this is the minimum anyway.
So right.
Right?
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
I just hate to hurry
I
up and
still
spend
don't-
it for the sake of spending it. You know?
well, and I don't think we're necessarily hurting them spending it. I mean,
Right.
the timing is, one thing I've turned around for is much or more for me in the regard that, we got through this and been working on the building and budget hit, and there's just been things that I put on the back burner myself. For one,
Oh yeah.
Um,
Sure.
I still don't understand why they need a half wall inside what's already going to be secured.
well, the half wall already exists. What they're doing is completing that half wall.
With
And-
bulletproof
and-
glass.
Yes.
I
And-
don't understand why we have to have bulletproof. That's what my main question is. Why do we have to have the bulletproof glass?
Well,
Because if someone is gonna go into those little rooms, and that was why they wanted to put them there. It's gonna be the attorney and his client. They are not gonna fight. They're not gonna shoot each other. They're not gonna stab each other because that client has hired that attorney to help him. And after court, nobody else is allowed in those little rooms. They can take their business out in the parking lot. So I've been to the courts too many times. I don't understand why they want the bulletproof glass there when there's not.
Well, I honestly think you're presuming human behavior that you can't actually presume. I mean, if you're going to say that, you can presume that anyone that walks into the courtroom with an attorney isn't going to be prone to try to attack, if you will. And in that case, then all the security measures are not necessary.
No, I understand the one that goes from the hall to where the girls are, where people pay for it and stuff.
The window.
Yes, I understand that one. And the door is always locked. They would have to unlock that door.
But the door is usually unlocked on court mornings so that those attorneys and their clients can get into that little hallway and into those cubbies to talk.
Well, they need to keep that locked and maybe sign the attorneys in or something. I'm just trying to save the township money and to put that glass up between that area. I don't think we need that.
Are they going to alter the remaining wall down below?
My
Huh?
My understanding, no.
So the drywall is going to stop bullets through it?
Well, I don't think. I guess I don't. I don't.
I mean,
I
you're
don't
going to
necessarily
spend $350,000 to put glass above it, but 4 foot of it's just drywall that you shoot right through it.
I'd have to go back and relook at the quotes. To be honest with you, I don't remember.
I mean, the wall's 4 foot tall.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, there's a question if
I
it could
thought-
support it either,
Yeah.
right? Because it was such a heavy slab of glass. They'd have to do something to it.
I think I share some of the same sentiment with this board. Just additional appropriation is something I'm strongly opposed to. We went through a lot the first time, and that was really an act of good faith. But to ask for more, I think just to me sounds absurd. Now, the idea of shooting an attorney, I'll tell you, I don't know what other people's experiences are. I've represented people in family law cases. I've wanted to shoot an attorney before. So there's cases where you want to hurt your attorney. You know, I've seen it. I get that part, but I mean, the most sensible thing, which we've already appropriated money for, and I think somebody brought up last time, was a metal detector. You stop the guns from getting in the first place, you've solved 90% of the battle.
Yeah, and Dave Taylor's got that at his Perry Township.
Yeah. And I think we've appropriated plenty enough to make that happen. In addition to the half wall and the safe, I guess the Supreme Court is ordering. So, I mean, how was it, like about 425, 410? We appropriated
419.
Yeah,
419.
we've already
Which
did.
is what the encumbered
And
amount
of
is.
course, the developers quoted us for the ballistic glass, I think around $200,000. So,
Yeah.
and beyond what we've already appropriated, I just don't know what we would possibly spend. You could be spending more than what we've already appropriated. That actually makes sense.
Well, that's what I was saying. If we're still circling right back to it, we're not doing anything to the lower part of the wall. Seems kind of obsolete. But I mean, it was that and being there, or if it's for the days that they have court I've been a bailiff down there. I mean,
Well,
then
that's
you're
right.
open. Then
Yeah.
you're open to. I mean, when you're in the court, there's nothing protecting anybody in there. I mean, you want
Free
to.
will.
Yeah, you want to stop talking about just those attorneys. That's why I don't understand. So did he get somebody to come in from the Supreme Court?
Yeah.
And they still are,
The sheriff from
The
the
sheriff-
Supreme Court. came
and they
in.
still came in.
Is he
So
still
that's why I
recommending
think we
this
need
work?
an exact, and I've talked to him intermittently and to reveal the report to you, but
It just seems.
I guess I've summed it up a couple of the times. It was, as I've read the report, it's be careful for what you ask. You got it. It's, I mean, creating a safe room is a minimum compared to what their recommendations and directives are.
Right.
Does this cover anything that he asked for, the Supreme Court sheriff? Because from understanding, this initial scope was just kind of something the judge and the vendor sort of came up with, right? Did he validate that wall and everything that would be included in this?
Again, I don't want to necessarily talk too publicly about security, but okay, just be blunt. As I read the report, it requires a safe room.
Because I guess, practically speaking, from our perspective, we've already approved it. So we can voice our opinion on it.
Yeah.
If there is not a written contract or a purchase order, it should expire.
It should.
And then we can just revisit it when we got the bigger scope.
Right. Because
So,
Better
but if this-
understanding.
but
I just.
right, and that's in your court, right? Because you
in
can,
essence, yeah.
this is in your court until the end of the year.
Right.
Without a contract or a PO issued, it could expire.
It could expire if I don't have a satisfactory.
Right.
Right.
And if then more money that they need for whatever else they want, that's a whole new discussion that we can say whatever.
I think anymore, I don't see much room where I would not be anything but opposed to that. And if the Supreme Court says this and this and that, well, every other court in Indianapolis and probably most of the state is not in compliance. So whenever they get around to enforcing their own rules and the other courts get around to it, we'll play by the same rules and standards as everybody else. But until then, we'll do what everybody else does.
Yeah.
When did we receive the report?
Early midsummer, I don't remember the exact date.
So that is my question to the judge. I know he's not here, and I don't want you to have to speak for him either. But
Well,
if
thank you for that.
if we knew the cost was,
I kind of.
well, yeah. I mean, if you want to, sure, but I'm not gonna put you on the spot here. But if he knew, or looking at the report, this 419 wasn't going to cover it,
Yeah, that's
then why didn't he come back and during budget time and ask for more money? That's to Anthony's point. That's the time to discuss those things. Not doing these.
Not until the last minute.
Right. And so that's where, like, if you knew that, and maybe you didn't have a cost in it, right? But if you were able to look at that scope and say, even to get the minimum, we're doing these things that, again, I understand we don't, I haven't seen this report yet. We'll learn about that later. But, if we don't think this was going to cover it, then you come in during budget season and you talk about that. And again, I'm not blaming you at all, Jason, for that. That's on the judge to do that. When he came in back in, I believe it was March that we passed this. Very impassioned speech that he stood over here and talked about it. And he had some of his office workers here that had gave very personal accounts of safety issues and everything. And while I think the board had issues and questions then, it was in good faith that, well, okay, Judge, like, we get this, but you are telling us this is a serious problem and we need to address it before somebody gets hurt. Great, we do it. I think that was March, maybe it was April. I'll give it April. It's now December and we haven't done anything yet. So again, like it clearly wasn't a like, oh my gosh, we have to fix this by next week, or we're going to have some terrible incident occur. And then when the report, and so then I know there were lots of things. Hey, we're going to try and get some new contractors and all that stuff. I'm glad that happened. Then we have this report from the state Supreme Court sheriff that says something, and then during the appropriate time to discuss budget matters, the judge doesn't bring it up, and that frustrates me.
I think
Right.
that's
That frustrates
me. We went through a lot, and around March or April, and from my point of view, is we appropriated a war chest for the court. I mean, plenty, and that was that was the decision we all agreed to in good faith. First time, yeah, okay, it's a serious issue we need to address. Now this is starting to feel more like a Mars Hill hustle. You came to the taxpayers asking for it the first time, we appropriated it. Now and now the taxpayers being asked for it again. What's to stop a third time and a fourth time and a
Yeah.
fifth time?
Right.
Especially with this report, I guess my advice to the court, to the judge would be, I hope that this money you guys are about to spend, if you do spend it, addresses things in that report. Like, I think the board would be like, why didn't you use this for this, right? Because we haven't seen the report, because it just sounds like there's going to be more asked going forward. And, like I said, my understanding was that what we had approved back then, we didn't have any expert that had even looked at anything.
Right,
But
we
we
didn't
were-
have anybody
Right.
that give us a quote.
We
We only had the one.
We had the judge and the
And I
vendor saying,
requested
this is what we
more.
think we need. Now we have a report that nobody's seen. We don't know if this is going toward anything in that report, unless you know, or you could enlighten us,
Yeah, I think we need to see it.
Well, I mean, the report calls for a safe room. So this would,
But it's not a safe room.
Because you can get in, well,
no, it will be made a safe room.
it will, okay,
Mainly.
I got you.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you mean by mainly.
Well,
And
I'm
I'm not the worker
I'm
up
saying
there,
we're
I'm
just
not the judge, so-
we're spending money for half of a wall that you can still just bust through the bottom part of it to get. I mean, we're circling right back to where we were, and it's not we're not against spending the money. It's just we're not appropriating the money. We're 100% what needs to be done to make him a safe room. But like what you're saying, we feel like we're going to come back and want more and more.
Yeah.
We're going to be $1 million on the court where we just build another.
And the building ain't
Taxpayers
working.
gonna run us out of town.
Okay, going to have bulletproof glass, but then somebody with a
Full
high power
house that
rifle can
night.
still shoot through the wall.
Yeah,
We had a full house.
Oh yeah.
Well, this was already appropriated, so
I know there's not much you can do about it.
unless
Just-
it had just expired, which you could, unless you're under contract with somebody, so.
Well,
Because I don't think you're just giving this to us as a notification.
the only thing, Chairman, the only thing is that if they come back to that program, and that's when we have the right to say. Originally, the first time, Cindy and I, we both opposed it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
3-2. So.
Yep.
And we did oppose it because it wasn't against it and it had nothing to do. And like I said, I had a great conversation with the judge last night. In fact, I've been bailed for a couple of times with him. I didn't know how that was going to go. But, I mean, I like the judge. And I mean, I want to help him on what he wants there. But this, like I said, then in the future, just know this, that, if he comes back with more money, I mean, might be 3-2 oppose it. Because it's not being spent the way it should be being spent. Not when you're going right back to the same blueprint when we had the concerns from the get-go. Not about the money, but just to make sure that kind of money was being spent where it needed to be spent.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other ways to secure it, to make it a safe, make the whole thing safe. What good is it just to have the office safe? I mean, believe me, I mean, we're any life is important to say, but at that point during court, if it's a 4-case or 3-case day, I mean, there might be a number of 10 or 12 or more people in the courtroom that aren't protected either.
Well, I believe Trustee Holliday, to confirm with you what we appropriated could theoretically be used for the wall and a metal detector with the 419,000. Could it not? Because we basically appropriated for courthouse security, and that money can be used for anything under the umbrella of courthouse security, can it not?
I would think not, in the regard that the board appropriated, what it appropriated were for specific things, or more so some things that weren't specifically included, including the micrometer particularly. So if you're suggesting, as the fiscal officer say, take, and I don't know what the right pricing is, but if you're telling me take 50 grand of the 419 and buy a micrometer, I absolutely believe I'm not authorized to do that.
That's what I was trying to see what what the actual appropriation was.
Well, and I think some of it you got to kind of go look at what was written in the minutes and that type of thing too. I mean, if the minutes were recorded to buy a wall or to buy X number of windows, etc., then I don't.
But then also,
I'd have a lot of heartburn doing that.
Understood.
Even though I may 100% agree.
But also, as we were discussing recently, whatever is not spent of that could roll over into back automatically into the general fund.
Whatever is not spent has to roll back over into the general fund or be reappropriated by the board.
That sounds like every penny's gonna be spent, plus they're gonna want more.
Says
So we did.
if it's unexpended and subject to no liability at the end of the fiscal year, it goes back, and then it has to be reappropriated.
Right.
So if it's not liable to anybody,
So we estimated for court security, we did have it broken out for 3 different amounts that equaled that 419 and $46. $36,780 for windows. So we're talking the outside window that face the parking lot, I believe. $62,266 for the counter. And so I don't know if that, Greg, is maybe, I don't think that would cover like any Kevlar or ballistics in that. And then the wall, which I think also then included that window, the windows, was estimated at $320,000 for the total of $419 and $46. And we broke those up because there was that. Then we had the court roof, Station 74 roof. We had some court plumbing issues, and then we had the reserve engine as well. So we broke those out. We wanted to separate those issues as well, so we could approve the engine. I think unanimously we did. Court plumbing, I think we did as well. Court roof and Station 74
that's
roof.
right.
We broke those down. Then we had the concerns with
We had a few nays on that.
yeah, with that. So we didn't.
But the 3 specific items.
Right. So they are. I mean, generally windows, counter, wall. I would agree that I don't think you could buy a metal detector with what we appropriated. As much as I would love for you to, I don't believe that was the intent of the board at the time, based on what I'm reading here.
Unless we allowed certain money to go back into the general fund and then
we do it again.
voted on an additional
100%. Then we can do whatever we want.
think
Right?
that
Then
was-
we can make it whatever we want.
People's issue
Well, I mean-
is
I
we
mean-
didn't have
I
a
mean-
report.
I mean, you could amend the resolution.
We weren't working with an expert's report
So
on
you
what
have-
we needed.
but you
and that's
have
where all
to-
the
Yeah,
confusion
right.
is coming from.
And now we have.
now we
that.
have it, and we've had it since the summertime.
So we
And
kind of
we
put the
need
cart
that
before the
report.
horse.
Well, we haven't seen it because we're asked to appropriate almost $500,000 for it, something that
I
you
have no
know
idea.
we didn't.
That's the reason I opposed it, and I think it's the reason city opposed
Right.
it. So
Yeah.
it wasn't for the fact not to do it. We just didn't have enough details
Yeah.
to be doing it. And here we are now. Here we are in the 11th hour.
where we've got it broken out with the counter and the windows.
So can we deny this?
I don't think we can, the board. We've already appropriated it. I think what Jason has indicated is if we didn't have a contract, then it would roll back. Is that the proper term, or expire? Is that the proper term?
Well, you were saying a second ago about amending.
I mean, we've done that in the past with others. You could amend the resolution.
The resolution of
However, keep in mind,
But we're still not working with the information.
well,
Yeah.
not only that, but you have to, you can't do that tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
You could do that after a 48-hour notice.
yeah.
So, I mean, we can meet Christmas
On
Eve.
Christmas? Yeah.
I mean, not being flippant.
No,
but
Right.
seriously, at this point,
Yeah, at this point.
What's your timing?
So we would need,
So I would, I mean, and if you want to do that, and frankly, I mean, I think someone maybe ought to have a sit down with the judge.
Yeah, I mean, you could just kind
From
of
the
slow roll.
Well,
The contract
I
is-
said someone, I didn't say me.
Uh,
So, I mean, my personal perspective is, as the trustee, my dog in the fight is at the end of the day, something happened to someone at the court, particularly the staff, the concern for the liability.
Which I hear, but it's interesting. We appropriated this in March, and
I get it, and I mean,
you know,
it doesn't change what happened in March, and that was my approach in March too.
right.
I mean, for what it's worth, again, it's obvious, it's not a dire priority of mine, and I think maybe to what Jared was saying, if it was to the judge, he probably should have been prodding too.
Can I can say this
I-
now? Here,
I mean-
I told you so.
I don't know.
If I'm just curious
About the
what
minutes.
everyone else's thoughts are on this, but if we could,
I mean, but back to someone's point. I mean, don't say this arrogantly. I don't think the board can do much again tonight, as someone said.
right, no,
If you can dig in on any further additional appropriations.
Are we legally liable to a vendor at this point?
I don't think we're legally liable to the vendor. I mean,
Not saying do something. I mean, because
I
that'd be
mean-
the first thing to think about if we were even to consider.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
Because we don't want to.
I don't think we necessarily, I mean, we, the point was he was to revise the quote, add the back wall stuff to it. And that's what I told him, and told him and the judge bluntly, the only guarantee of money I got is the 419 on the table.
Right.
and that's what you got to work with, or else.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
that's-
but again, I mean, that's what we got to work with in relation to what was presented with the additional appropriation in March or April. Other measures, as illustrated in that report, will have to be dealt with one way or the other at a later time.
my one additional question is theoretically, is there any way we could amend the language of it a bit to encapsulate that idea and give it a more broad use, to say this $419,000 is what you've got for courthouse security. I recommend getting a metal detector, but this is what you've got, and you're not getting any more.
Well, it could be said to him outside of the meeting that, you know, because in the end, I think we just want money well spent, right? Whether it's this much or
Well-
more or even less or whatever, you know. Because it'll make it hard to approve more if we don't feel comfortable that this was well spent.
And we've
You know?
discussed it.
But-
Sure.
But again, and Jerry did the research, I don't think I have the authority.
Spend it on anything else.
You can't, with a casual or even a written email or conversation, even if you write a formal letter to them.
Yeah.
I think back to the point I made earlier to answer Anthony's question is the same answer. The resolution has to be amended.
So what kind of heartburn will he have in the future if we don't approve additional appropriations?
That's a discussion. That's a question you got.
Also, I
for him.
wonder if someone
can't-
should talk to him and say, what do
I
you,
can't.
is what we appropriated the money for in this expert's report? I think that's a question. That's my main question, right?
I want to know what the
And I think
report
I can
says.
answer.
Yeah.
I think I can answer that. It did.
It does. Okay. Does it cover?
Everything.
We,
Is
I
it
don't
is
know if I
it
got
cover
the
the
same-
entire thing, or
Or
like Jared's saying,
I-
we very specifically appropriated something to the windows and to the countertop and to the, you know.
Well, as I said earlier, and again, yielding to maybe Greg's point that there is that exclusion or whatever technically. The report calls for, as I read
The
it,
safe room.
a safe room.
Okay, I mean, maybe it's fine.
Everything that was appropriated back in the day, I think covers, without hard quoting me on the number, 90% of a safe room. The additional finishing the back wall, as I describe it, is additional, but that's what it takes now to create a safe room. I don't know if that's articulating clearly enough. What was appropriate to handle three or four
Yeah.
walls,
Okay.
all variables held constant.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll touch base with the judge and see if I can take a look at that report just to settle my own mind on it. You know.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Take that spaghetti dinner over to him.
Yeah. I got some spaghetti I can bring to him. Because in the end, we've appropriated it. If they decide to spend it, then that's what it is.
Well, I mean, it puts me in a perplexed situation too. I mean, and I said before, I was going to make sure I did this as back in the day, even though you guys appropriated, I think it lands in my lap to make sure it's done appropriately. Again, my humble opinion is to answer that question or back to my point. I understood the intent was to make a safe room for the staff. And that's what I've advocated. That's the point today. The 419 doesn't get us fully there. So, I mean, I guess the other argument is, or the other point back to the judge is if you're not inclined to approve an additional appropriation for another, and I'm picking numbers, I don't know, because we haven't got the estimate from the guy, but if we come for another 20 grand for that back wall and you're not willing to approve it, then
I think it was one of my original points. I mean, are we going to do this in stages, or would it be smart to just have the whole thing quoted as a single project? Would it be less expensive instead of trying to
I
get
don't-
this money spent now and then doing
I don't
the
know.
back wall later?
I don't
You
know
know.
necessarily it'll be less expensive other than, um, I mean, I guess, yeah, if we lay everything out and the guy's willing to knock a 10 or 5 or 10, 15 or whatever off of it, knowing he's gonna have the full report business-wise.
It's just interesting that the money appropriated, every penny's being spent right back to what was originally talked about that brought up the conflict, I guess, or not a conflict, but the discussion to look into this a little bit more. And now we're right back to square one.
Mhm.
And that's what I it's not that we're against it. It's just, it's not being used for, I don't know. It just seems odd.
Okay. Well, okay. So any other discussion or consider yourselves notified?
Yep.
Acknowledged.
We have a notification of 2026 Township Board meeting schedule.
Yeah, so that, again, this I set down and drew up again, the tentative schedule for next year that we want to advertise to the public, et cetera. You can all then mark your calendars as well, and prepared for them as well, but rather than, ad hoc notice 2 days before a meeting as some is the cases. The January 6th date again is by law the first Tuesday after the first Monday. The February 17th is also by law mandated, or at least we have to meet on or before the third Tuesday after the first Monday, I think is what the statute says.
Yeah.
So that ends up being the third. Give me us enough time to work on all the annual report stuff to get presented to you all that night.
Great.
And then a week or two to get it in to everybody else by March 1st. I think is the deadline. Again, projecting ahead, similar comparisons to what we did this past year with the budget cycle, mid-August with a salary workshop, introduction a couple weeks after, et cetera.
Great.
While I have the floor, you have the other information. I think 3 months worth of the investment report since the last time we met. The budget runs since we last met.
Our budget was accepted. I know another township within this county had theirs not accepted.
Well, truthfully,
really?
not yet.
Okay.
We have not got the notice.
They don't do it yet. Okay.
We have not got the notice. I will also tell you, regarding the levy appeal, they denied the civil portion.
Okay.
The attorney and
Really?
yeah, the attorney and our finance guy are lived over the last few days, and we've been working back and forth on what to do about appealing that.
I think that should be appealed.
I think so. The order said we met the growth quotient, and I'm paraphrasing, but our argument about future income loss otherwise wasn't sufficient. So, and in that order, they said the fire would be addressed at a later time, and that's been about a week and a half to 2 since we received the civil one. But the actual budget order itself, the quote 1782 thing, they have not notified us approval or denial yet.
Does it have to be approved by January 1st?
I think they have to have it in by the end of the year. Yeah, my recollection is we usually get it about mid to late December.
Okay. So
There's like a 5-day turnaround that I have to sign off or contest some stuff. And we've been fortunate, and the only thing they've ever really done is lowered the tax rate based upon the fact they've gotten a more accurate assessed value thing. So it's been a net.
If it is denied, January 1st comes along, do we operate on the 2025 budget figures? I'm trying to remember. from a little local government. I was thinking you operated again on the same budget until it was approved or something along those lines.
Yeah, which is what that other, I think, I haven't got the details, but I think that other township you're referencing, when we go off the clock,
I believe that's the question. I believe that's the case there as well.
And in all honesty, I mean, our budget's was no different this year than any past submissions. There's no reason, and I contend there were technicalities why they denied that budget. So, yeah. The other thing I would mention, but I think he left, but anyway, it was still mentioned, Firefighter Ferris, as an honor, he was accepted into a training program called the Indiana Smoke Diver class, and maybe the chief can elaborate a little bit more about that if you want the details, but I understand it's an application process and only a few get selected in it, and then maybe you can tell better why it's better for him and us.
Yeah, so Private Ferris was included in that. He applied, wrote him a pretty strengthy, if that's a word, recommendation letter. I was contacted by the director of the smoke divers as well as
the smoke divers.
Yeah, so
okay.
the smoke divers
Sorry.
originated in Georgia. The Georgia smoke divers is pretty much it's equated to the Navy SEALs of firefighting.
Okay.
If you will. It goes beyond recruit school. It goes beyond everything that we've learned. It's pretty much a boot camp. That's a solid week, where they literally, a bunch of firefighters will take it, lose weight that week. They're on a strict diet. They have athletic trainers out there all week with them. They have dietitians out there with them. They have a physician that runs it. It's that intense. Anywhere between 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, doing firefighter skills, functionalities, and it is the Marine Corps or Navy SEALs of the fire service. So not all people get selected. He was selected. He's mentally prepared. I've talked to him offline a couple times, trying to boost him up a little bit. We've got the crews working out with him to support him. So that's really well. I've also offered my hand anything I can do to help him as far as an administrative point. So we have had people here apply, try the program, and within 2 days either get hurt or drop out.
Wow.
That is not knocking them at all. This is something not everybody can do. I couldn't do it. I went to recruit school 20 years ago. It's just a situation that he played IU football. He's a collegiate football player. He's prepared for that. His wife's an athletic trainer. So I'd say he's in good shape to do that right now mentally. So he's got a good support system in us.
When will that run?
The dates, I believe, is March.
Something I don't recall.
Yeah, and that will be in my,
that's right. Yeah,
that'll be in my year.
Let's do this one. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Check that one out.
Get the dates to Jared immediately.
Yeah.
Because he needs to set his vacation schedule.
You know, I'm the guy that the Friday before the mini marathon, I go, I'll just go carb load instead. I'm not going to run. I'm just going to go carb load. Let's go to Iria's and do it. Yeah.
Anthony might want to join.
Yeah, that's it.
So Private Ferris is that. We're very proud of
Jared,
him.
I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
That's really nice of you to step
Is that
up
here or in Georgia, or is it?
That's no. The originated in Georgia. It's
Okay.
at the ESCC Wayne Township is where we host.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's here.
And I say we.
So
I'm
it's,
saying
yeah, it's convenient.
It's easy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
drive there.
You can get your Cracker Barrel before you go.
You can. So there is a viewing area, but it's very restricted. It's restricted in the sense that they don't want anybody getting on the main, what we call the fire floor or the drill floor, because they don't want anybody getting hurt. It's pretty. It's moving all day long.
Now, is that where the tower is?
Yeah, that's where the
Yeah,
tower's at.
yeah. Yeah, very
good,
cool.
Josh. You familiar with
So
that?
400 North High School Road.
That fire ops was enough for me.
Yeah. The other thing I got, Mr. Trustee, if you don't mind, if I
Absolutely. I forgot.
talk on an incident we had. Actually, we had 2 incidents recently. Thanksgiving night, it was a C-shift night. I was notified I was going to my 3rd place that day. I was notified of a shooting involving a pediatric situation. Our C-shift crews did an amazing job. We got to thank you from Riley Hospital on that. Tragic event, especially on a holiday. Justin Longrich, who's our division chief of health and safety, and I were talking on the phone. He was at his family's, I was at my family's. We were coordinating someone coming to the firehouse that afternoon. He showed up that afternoon. When I got back in town about 6 o'clock, I showed up here and I hung out till about midnight with the crews, talking to them, making sure they were okay. Even offered to work for somebody if they wanted to go home with no penalization. Family's number one in this business, and I'm not going to penalize somebody for going home during a tragic incident like that on Thanksgiving.
What happened?
Exactly.
Had a pediatric gunshot in the district.
Oh,
That was on Thanksgiving night. They were very appreciative of everybody's support and concern. The trustee reached out to me. The shift now is they're doing phenomenal. I had lunch with one of them today, and they're all back on track. The other incident was the following Saturday. We had a near miss where an ambulance collided with another vehicle, extensive damage on the ambulance. The crash is still under investigation, so I can't release any information at this time, but I will assure you that two things happened. Number one, upon the impact of the collision, we were doing everything we could. I say we as a department, based on policies, procedures, things like that. Due regard is what we call it. The other sense is as soon as it struck the vehicle, they got out of the ambulance, started doing care on the individual that they struck. So that is all I know based on the investigation right now. It's with IMPD and state police for that regard. Do not feel anything criminal or malicious was involved at all, but it's still under investigation. So once we get that report, I'll be able to share more. But I do not have an update on the patient. Our crews, though, were not injured. They were shaken up, not injured. We did do assessments. We did do first injury reports. We also had a EMT student from Ivy Tech riding out. He did not get hurt. Thank goodness. He was in the back. But that was another situation where the administrative staff came in. Myself, Chief Longridge, and Ted Moore were there. Ted was actually at Menards picking up stuff for winter preparedness and heard the run go out, so he headed down here. And then when they're on the radio saying that we need a battalion chief, we need an officer, that's when he came down to help. So again, Chief Morrell showed up at 4s with me. We were able to mitigate everything, call the insurance, all that stuff. So we got all that taken care of. So that to me means a lot for the administration to come out on holidays and weekends to show up. And I'm not saying me, but the administration as a whole. That's pretty awesome that they're able to show up. We have good support of the trustee. We have good support of the union and you guys as well. We appreciate your support. So we're doing everything we can to be active with our members. And we obviously can't do that without you guys. But since I found out this evening I can buy a squad and hire 6 people, I think we're doing
Helicopter.
okay.
And the helicopter. Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
But,
Well, I thought I heard ladder in there too.
Ooh, yes, yes, but no. In all seriousness, I thank
You know
you
what?
guys. Once I know for sure, I'll get you guys a report. The other thing I have that'll go in the year-end report, we have our detailed apparatus reports that I promised you back in March. We have those. Our system's running great, better than what it was in the last 10 years, obviously, especially what it was in the last 2 years. So we're able to go back and get those to you, so you'll have those the first year as well. So Chief Morrell's done a bang-up job on that. All of our division chiefs and Chief Johnson and the other deputy chiefs working great with staffing. So we're just off to the races for 26, and we're doing good things. And it's for them. I said something the other day. I said I can either put water in the boat or I can take water out of the boat, put fuel in it. It's up to you. And they're like, well, we don't want you to put water in the boat. I said, I don't either because I can't swim. So I'll make sure that we don't sink the boat. But no, we just want to thank you guys for your support because that's huge.
oh, thank you. Great. Anything else for the good of the cause
We need
tonight?
to sign off on the training that we did.
Oh, yeah. Fill out those forms,
Yep.
send them back to me. And you should
Just
have had
the-
your checks.
Yep.
The bottom portion you tear off and sign as well.
Sign.
And get back to me.
Thank you guys so much.
Because,
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Chief.
Sign.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a nice
State
Christmas.
law regulations require we gain them back, send them to the auditor, and they look at us like, wow.
Yeah.
They actually
Thank
called
you,
1 year and asked, do you want
Yeah.
these back?
Let's do that soon. Okay.
Chief, appreciate you. Good to see you. Yep.
That it, you adjourned?
Merry
Christmas.
Yeah. Meeting's adjourned. Meeting's adjourned.
Are we supposed to sign these? Oh, is that mine?
No, it's that stuff. It's going to Jason.
Oh, you need the stub back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
And then the sign, where's it at?
Need us to sign this?